Hello everyone, welcome to day 4. I am Anmol Purti and I was one of the VSD intern for February-March 2021. The topic for today is physical verification using OpenLane. Before getting into physical verification, let's start with the OpenLane flow first. OpenLane flow is a fully automated flow in which we have to provide the Verilog files as an input, that is the RTL code, and we have to provide the PDK. In this case, we will be using the 130 nanometer PDK, and it will go through all the process which are mentioned here in this diagrammatic representation of OpenLane flow and will result in GDS2. We will see all this process in detail in the next slides. After we have given the RTL code as an input to the OpenLane flow, it will first go through the process of synthesis. In this process, the RTL code will be converted into its gate level representation. Synthesis happens in two stages inside the OpenLane flow using two tools. Those are namely EOSIS and ABC. Then there will be a static timing analysis done on the gate level representation, and the ideal clocks will be used in this analysis. Then we will proceed to the floor planning stage. Here, the core area and the macro area, as well as the rows and tracks, are defined, and the input and output pins are also placed in this part. It also involves the insertion of well tap and decap cells, and in this step only the power distribution network is generated. After this stage, there is the placement stage where the global placement and detail placement is done, and different optimizations are done on the design. Then the clock tree synthesis is done, where the real clock tree is generated using the tool Triton CTS. Here the static timing analysis is done using real clocks. Then we go to the routing stage. In the routing stage, we use the fast route tool for the routing, and the field insertion is also done in this stage. Then the diode insertion is done. The antenna diode insertion can be manipulated using the diode insertion strategy parameter. If we set the diode insertion strategy to 0, there will be no diode insertion. In strategy 1, the diode will be spread all throughout the design, and in diode strategy 2, all the polygates will be inserted with the fake diodes, and afterwards, if there is a need, then it will be replaced with real diodes. And then there is number 3, which is antenna avoidance flow of fast route. This is a special feature of fast route tool. Number 4 is the Sylvian custom script for diode insertion, in which a custom script is used for this purpose. And number 5 is a mix of strategy 2 and 4. Antenna diode insertion is usually done at the polygates so that the manufacturing defects can be avoided. Detail routing. This is done using the Triton route tool, and it performs the detail routing, that is the signal routing, and the end product is a .def file, which is the representation of the layout. The parasitic extraction or the RC extraction is done with the help of magic tool, and after that the final static timing analysis is done to confirm that there is no negative slack in our design. Then we will come to the physical verification part where magic will be used for DRC checks and antenna checks. And we will also use K layout for DRC checks and as well as XOR checks. NetGen will be used for LVS checks and CVC will perform the circuit validity checks. And finally, we can have the GDS2 output using magic and K layout. Config.tcl file is an important file and it is present in every design. It has all the parameters which the OpenLAN will be using to perform operations on the design. And there will be different parameters which will be manipulated so that we can do the design in our most preferred way. The information about the parameters can be found at this link which you can see on your screen. You can copy and paste this link on your browser window to check out all the parameters. Let us now proceed to the labs. In this lab session, we will see the different modes of operation of OpenLAN flow. Let us start with the non-interactive mode of OpenLAN. First of all, we'll go to the OpenLAN folder. This might be at a different location for you guys. Now inside the OpenLAN folder, we'll check this designs folder. Here we can see that there are a lot of sample designs provided by OpenLAN. For our exploration of non-interactive mode, we'll use the SPM design. Here we can see that there is a source folder where the Verilog RTL of this design is given. And the most important part is this config.tcl file. This contains all the parameters that will be used by OpenLAN to make operations on this file. Now, let's go back to the OpenLAN, and here we'll open the terminal. And now we will export our PDK over here. Now we will type make mount. Now we have to type ./flow.tcl. And then we have to type dash design. As we'll be using the SPM design, we'll type SPM. Let us give a tag for this run as a workshop. Press enter. Now the OpenLAN has started and it is carrying out the synthesis. And now it has gone to the static timing analysis. Now it is running the floor planning. Now we have gone to the placement stage where it is doing the placement. Here we can see the slack at 6.21, which is good as it is positive. At this stage, OpenLane is doing the detailed placement. Now this is the clock tree synthesis stage. So the OpenLane flow is finished now, and we can see that there are no DRC violations or LVS violations, and the antenna violations are also zero. And it took around 11 minutes to complete this. It is actually dependent on the configuration of your system. How long will it take? But we have seen that it is very easy to use the non-interactive mode of OpenLane, as we have just given the PDK location and the design location, and directly it has completed everything and it has generated a GDS file, which you can find under designs SPM runs. Here we have given the tag as workshop, and in the results inside the magic folder you can see the GDS as well as the map file of SPM. Now to see this, we have to open magic. We type magic. Here we will go to read GDS and we'll open spm.gds. Select the whole area and press X. So we can see that we have got the GDS to output. But the drawback of using the non-interactive mode is that we don't have control over what operations are being performed at each step. To understand the open flow in more details, we have to have a look at the interactive flow of OpenLane, which we'll do next. Let us now start the interactive mode of OpenLane flow. This will help us to understand it much better way. So we are in the OpenLane folder. We will open the terminal here and we will export the PDK over here by export PDK root is equal to user share PDK. Then we'll type make mount, and now we will type dot slash flow dot tcl dash interactive. So we are inside the OpenLAN flow now, and now we have to type the command package require OpenLAN. Now we have to prep our design. We will be using SPM for our analysis. Prep dash design SPM, and we'll give this as tag as workshop 1. By this command, we have made sure that the OpenLAN now has grabbed all the files required for the OpenLAN flow to work properly. Now we will start with the synthesis stage. We'll type run synthesis. Make it full screen. So here we'll check what are the things happening in the synthesis stage. We can see here it opens the Yosis tool, and then Yosis converts the RTL code into the gate level representation, which we can see here as it enumerates the number of cells, memory bits, and all the gates which are used in the particular design. Now, after this, here the ABC tool is working. It has taken the standard cells from the Sky 130 and it has replaced the generic gates with us special standard cells for each of them. So this is what ABC does. It does the technology mapping. Now we'll proceed to the another stage, which is the floor plan stage. We typed run floor plan. Here we can see it is deciding the core area, height and width. And then now here it is running IO placement, that is the input output ports. And here it is running tab decap insertion. And now it is generating the power grids. And the floor plan stage is successful. Now we'll go to the next stage, that is the placement stage. We'll type run underscore placement. As we can see, it is running the global placement. As we can see now, the global placement is successful. It is now running the required optimizations. And now it is running the static timing analysis. And and then we can see here that it is running the detailed placement. Actually, the static timing analysis is done several times during the OpenLAN flow, so as we can always guarantee that the design is having a positive slack. And now we'll go to the next stage, that is the clock tree synthesis stage. We'll type run underscore CTS, and the Triton CTS tool is running now. In the clock tree synthesis stage, the real clock tree network is generated and the timing analysis is done. Now, as we can see, the clock tree synthesis stage is successful and we have a positive slack over here, which is good. Now, we have to do one thing, that we will type the command run resizer timing. Actually, this is the step which the OpenLAN does after the CTS, but which is not necessary in our case because we already have a positive slack. But in certain designs, this step is necessary. Actually, what it does is, if the slack is negative, then it resizes the clock tree and tries to make it in such a way that it would have a good slack. So we will press enter and it will run the timing optimizations on the on the design. So the optimization stage is complete. Now we'll go to the routing stage. We'll type run underscore routing. First it will run the global routing. And now it is running the fill insertion. And after that, it will run the detailed routing. Detailed routing has many optimization steps so that we can have the routing with minimum number of violations. As we can see, the number of violations has gone to zero over here. And we are also seeing the message that there are no DRC violations. No DRC violations after detailed routing. Now it is running the final static timing analysis on the design, and it has finished, and it is showing that the time it has taken to run. Now after the routing stage, what we have seen is that we have made a number of changes on the design. So now, in order to run the LVS, we need to generate the Verilog file, which is equivalent to all the changes that we have done. So we will use the command right,
My mom's like, you better stop running. I know where your manager is
powered,
working. I'm like, oh, so. He was
very
so
low.
fast. No,
Uh,
his fan.
this we are doing so that we can compare it
His
to the extracted net list and see whether there are any LBS errors present.
my little skinny brother is going through his own style revolution. You know how they do that? And I like to rub his foot. We went to pumpkin patch this weekend. We were getting our
Now
Connor.
we will have to type another command which is
He's so funny.
set
He looks so little.
underscore netlist dollar colon
I don't have a camera.
env
They're funny names.
lvs underscore result underscore
I don't know how I would write this
file
if I had this.
underscore tag
I wanted a brother growing up.
dot
I don't know if I would have been.
powered
That's my boyfriend.
dot
My mom.
p.
That's my mom. That's he's like 16.
Now after this, we'll run magic. It will generate
Is that
the different views, that is the .mac file, and it will also generate the GDS file for our design.
Yeah.
Run underscore magic.
Brothers are so funny. They're such a fun time. So with my nephew. Not my nephew, my like he's like my mom's cousin's kid. But like I would say he's
So
nephew.
magic is completed
I
now.
call him that.
Now we will run
It's like that
K
weird,
layout to
like,
generate
cousin.
the GDS file for it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's my cousin.
Yeah. My boyfriend was like, "He's your cousin." I'm like,
There might be a question that
"Not my cousin,
why we
my
are
nephew."
generating the GDS file using K layout
No, no,
when we have already done it using
do
magic.
you have a bunch of cousins?
Actually, we are doing it
No.
to check whether
I had,
the
on my mom's
whether the
side,
GDS
my
file generated by both the
first kid
tools
other than my
are
siblings
similar or not,
is like
which
7 right now.
we will check in the
And then the
in the
next one
steps we
is
take
two
afterwards.
other. My mom has 3
So
sisters.
we'll
2 sisters, my bad.
type run underscore K layout and we'll press enter.
Oh,
So
wow.
one is 4 and one is 8.
Just a little. Oh
They're
my
still
god.
living. My dad's side, he had 6 siblings. One brother, who was the youngest.
Uh-huh.
My dad is like in the middle, and then like three older sisters and 2 younger sisters.
Now we'll perform the Zohar check.
Because he's in the middle,
For that the command is run
my age,
K layout
4 years younger,
underscore
and then
GDS
like
underscore
4
Zor.
5 years older, and then the
Here it starts the Zor checks and we can see that first layout
full
is
vertical.
the one which is done by magic, that is spm.gds, and the second layout is the one which is generated
They all have
by the
and like
K layout. So we compare both the GDSs which are
but
generated from magic as well as K layout, and we are checking for any discrepancies in their
I never
outputs.
like knew them like that and they're like
And the Zor check has been completed,
and when you have like people like
and now we will do the RC extraction of the
your cousin like
layout generated by us.
if that makes
We have to type run underscore magic underscore spice underscore export.
So I always told her you're the mom. She was always the oldest. 'Cause I am the oldest out of like all
Okay, so the extraction is completed. Now we have to check for any LBS errors that might be present in our design.
my least favorite.
So we'll type run
They look like
underscore LBS.
It's been a long time since I've seen most of them, but like
So here we can see the two netlist that
we always used to get.
it is using for the LBS check
So it was like we were kind of.
are the spm.spice and spm.lbs.powered.v.
Yeah. I was always like for the
The first one is the spice file, which is generated after the RC extraction.
Like now that
The
I'm older,
second one
it's like, oh,
is
just sit
the
there and do your
power.v,
thing. But like,
that
you just
what
like do it
we
all the way.
generated some time ago using the command write powered variable.
I don't care.
And
I don't, or I do know these
in
people.
the end, we can see there are
It would be
no
like,
LVS mismatches over here.
I was so
Now we will use the magic tool to check for any DRC error present in our design. We have to type run
I have,
magic
like he never knows. That's the thing. Is like I'll tell
DRC.
people like, oh my cousin, oh my auntie, but I know like the chain, but like he never knows the chain.
I get that.
Here we can see the DRC style is DRC full,
We, on my mom's
and it
side,
will run the complete DRC check
grandma,
on the
she
design.
is a
And
Valenzuela.
we can also see that it is showing no DRC
And
violations.
the Valenzuelas have like a
So
reunion
now we are left with
every year.
the antenna
We
check.
had one in July.
So
And
we'll type the command
so many
run
people there, and some of them I'm just like,
antenna
who are they? Why I
check.
don't know who you are. Like, I just
I
don't
don't
know.
know where you came from.
Or like, it'll literally be like an assortment of like between even 11 to like 27-year-olds, and then my dad will be like,
And we can see there are no antenna violations over here.
it's literally like a range
We have to
from
also check for the circuit validity now. So we will run the command
And then I don't know
run
why, but like I didn't click to me
left
like literally this
underscore CBC.
because
It will check for the circuit validity,
every time that we went to like a party or something,
and it doesn't have any errors. So
these people were always
now
there.
the final command which we have to give is
But I just wasn't able to process that
generate
as a kid. They'd just be like, they're your cousins, and I'll be like, oh,
underscore
just people I'm playing with right now.
final underscore
So yeah,
summary
some of the like I
underscore
remember one time
report.
when I started playing football in Mexico,
And here we can see
like
there is no DRC violations, LVS violations, or
there was
antenna violations. And
like I knew him,
this is the complete OpenLAN flow.
and then
Actually, it is very necessary to understand each and every step which are taken by OpenLAN flow so that
he's like, he's your cousin.
we can make use of OpenLAN flow in a better
Usually
way.
doesn't show up to the family reunions, but like since he's been playing football and like you kind of know him, like they decided to start showing up, or like to other reunions too. Like the big one isn't yearly, but they have other ones. And so then
Let us now look at some ways by which we can avoid common DRC errors.
not even that. Like I just knew him. Like he's
The first one to come is
like
local interconnect rules.
and he's like, no, you're
We should always be sure that we are not routing on the local interconnect layer because it has very high resistance and it can produce unwanted delays in our design.
I have no.
It can only be used for adjacent circuit elements which are inside a standard cell.
But every damn time, like it'll get to
Density planning.
where it's like people are just dancing.
There are two things that come under this, that is the utilization ratio and the cell density.
Oh, let's go dance. Like and then like
Utilization ratio is the area occupied by the netlist divided by the total area of the core. And this is controlled by the parameter that is fp underscore core underscore util, and the default value is 50%. We can use this parameter to increase or decrease the utilization ratio as per our needs. Cell density. The parameter controlling it is the PL underscore target underscore density. It controls how congested or how spread our design is intended to be.
it's mostly footwork.
If it is set to 0, it will be very widely spread, and if it is set to 1, it will be very closely packed. Its default value is 0.55.
I don't know. Like it's just so weird because I mean.
Now we come to don't use cells. These are actually cells which are known to be problematic with OpenLAN. So these are excluded from the OpenLAN flow while preparing any design. We can, as per our convenience, add or remove cells from this list. It can be found at a location which is shown here. Now we have to proceed to the exercises. For that,
this is
first we have to download the files.
how to do properly. Like that's how I
So
feel about
we will first
I just don't like
go to
like
this
as a
link.
sim, like I don't feel fluid with my movements, but like in football it'd be crazy.
You can
Like
just take a
you would
screenshot of
see
it
like in because
and
I
we'll
played online
open the browser
and like the defense always have great hands, but you would see us just like
and
you know eventually one of us would win or whatever.
we'll just
But like stuff like that, like I just like it makes sense
copy
that
and paste it.
maybe it's because when I was little, I was like 5. My parents used to take me to like I think it was taekwondo.
Now
I did not retain any of
we'll
that.
click here at code
But
and we'll
the
just copy
training
this
was,
link.
I mean, it's taekwondo. It's like a martial art.
Now we'll go
I just
to our
don't,
open lens folder.
I don't know, like I don't move like that.
Inside the designs folder, we'll open the terminal over here. We'll type
That's why
git
I've been enjoying going to the gym. Like
clone
it just I don't know. The
and we'll
movements are
paste
fun.
the link and we'll
Especially when
type
there's the
enter.
cables. Cables are so cool. So nice.
when do you go to the gym?
I can't.
Do you have like a usual time?
Okay, it's done.
No. I went today at 4, but
Here we can see the
like
PB workshop folder over here. We'll open
I
this.
usually go
We'll copy this task 1 and task 2
6 or 7.
and we'll
really time
paste it outside.
but today instead of going to the
And now we can delete
gym,
this folder.
cardio, we
So now let's start with task 1. On the OpenLN folder,
I
open the terminal
so in lab
and
I need
as we have
to
done it
pull
earlier,
out some data sets.
we'll export the PDK.
Some reactions I have to look at them mid reaction to be like, okay, I need to stop it now. So I took that sample, I went, analyzed it in the machine operating facility thing.
And then
My computer,
we'll type
I
make
pick up
mount.
the boot up the file, I boot up the file, I go to try and start that.
We will use the non-interactive mode. We'll type
I don't have my charger on.
dot
So
slash
I had to walk
flow
all the way here.
dot
26
tcl
minutes.
minus design
ISCV, it's like in the sciences.
task
at the
1
back
okay.
on campus, but
and then we'll give it a
I had
tag
to walk all the way back. I
as
could drive back because it was
workshop.
outside the block. But at one point, like my body just, I didn't even notice. Like I was
We'll
just,
let this run and we'll see what is the outcome of it.
and like I haven't.
The OpenLN flow has finished and we can see there are a huge number of DRC violations and also LVS violations in this design.
On the treadmill.
So we'll figure out how we can get rid of those.
30.
We'll go to the design and under the tasks,
Ran and I was just like,
we'll open the
I
config.tcl.
felt like
As I've
I
discussed
felt
earlier,
like with my backpack on.
it contains all the different parameters which are used by OpenLN for the operations it performs on the design. So here we can see the FP core utilization is 53. We will make it less and see its effect on the design.
I think
We'll go to 40
it's
and we'll run the design again
running.
to see what are the effects of it.
Pressure like this.
Yeah,
Where it's like you kind of bounce.
yeah. I was trying to use stair stepper and stair stepper doesn't follow. I think it's because my feet are straight versus uphill. Like you're like pressing
Yeah, you're
with
like
your
this.
foot.
We'll again use the same command,
So
but now we will change the tag name to workshop 1
Cardio because my knee is fucked up from football. But I just like
and we'll let it run.
overextending it when it hurt. To just like
The OpenLab flow has finished and we can see that the DRC violations and the LVS violations are very less compared to what we got for FP core util 53. Now this is the result for core utilization of 40.
the other day I was
And to get rid of all the violations,
trying to see my time.
let's see whether if we decrease it further,
yeah, I'm not.
can we get DRC violation 0 and LVS violation
My
0.
friend's roommate and
For
UCLA
that,
goes on
we'll
Netflix
again go to the
too.
config.tcl file
I showed up
and we
once
will
two weekends ago,
change it
and I
to
was like, "Where's your roommate? Where's Ryan?" He's like,
35.
"Oh, he went out at like 5 in the morning." I was like, 5
We'll
in the
save
morning.
this
He gets up at 4, eats breakfast with a tea, and then goes on a 10 kilometer run.
and we'll
Comes
change the
back,
tag
takes a
to
shower.
workshop
That's how he
2.
starts his day.
Yeah.
Man finishes the 10 kilometer run and is ready to like do stuff at like 9 in the morning.
We can see here that the DRC violation and LVS violations have reduced to 0,
Mm-hmm.
and
She qualified.
we have got rid of all the violations
But
by
fortunately,
decreasing the core utilization to 35.
she competed and she
For this design, the number of violations were around 13,000, but now by reducing the FP core util, we
I
have
like the idea of
achieved a
bodybuilding,
DRC clean and LVS
but I
clean
prefer the
design.
idea of being built for
like
actual,
powerlifting.
not powerlifting. I want to, once I like cut down enough weight and get stronger, I want to start calisthenics because I feel like those are better because they allow you to train like
Manually fixing
balance of your
violations.
body
In case we have a design which has a very few
but also
violations,
like just overall
instead of going to the config.tcl file
I think
and changing the
yeah.
I
parameters,
like to have like
we
control
can
of my
directly
aesthetics of my body.
solve the violations using Magic Editor tool,
As far as
and we can generate the GDS2 file. For that, we have to locate the location of the .mag
At least
file,
give it a shot.
which is usually present in the
Like I
location
don't know,
given in point 2,
I'd say like I want to
and
like
we can open it using the Magic
that's why I
tool,
think it looks bad
and we
when
can make the necessary changes to get rid of the violations, and we can directly generate
meat on
the GDS file using the Magic
like
tool.
it. But
Let us now proceed to task 2.
I
Inside the OpenLN folder, we'll open the terminal.
watched Sigma for it. Well, I watched my mouth. Sigma for it.
We'll type export
And like
PDK underscore root is equal to user slash share slash PDK. Now we'll type make mount. We have to type dot slash flow dot tcl minus design task 2 dash tag workshop. We will let it run. The OpenLN flow has finished, and we can see that we have a total number of DRC violation is equal to 3. So as mentioned earlier, we will try to solve these errors manually. So what we have to do is that we have to go to the designs folder, and then inside the task 2 folder, we have to go inside runs, and inside the workshop folder, we have to go to the results folder, and we have to go inside magic, and here we are interested in task2.mag file. So we will open it using magic. We'll type magic. Now we'll open this file. We'll put this inside the bounding box by pressing the left mouse button and then the right mouse button, and we'll press X. We have to change the DRC to DRC complete. And now inside the TKCon window, we have to type DRC check. It will run the DRC check again. So the DRC violation which were identified by the magic is equal to 2. To find them, we'll just type on the TKCon window DRC find, and then we'll come to the magic window and we'll type Control Z. We'll zoom out a little bit, and now we will come to the TKCon window again and we'll type C no asterisk, and then we'll again type C metal 2. As we can see here that there is some problem with metal 2 spacing. So from this we can make out that these two areas are not well placed. So what we will do, we'll just remove this area. We'll come to this point and we'll put this whole area under the bounding box and we'll press anywhere with the mouse middle button. Now, as we can see, the number of DRC errors have come back to 1. So it is a good thing, but let's check what is the DRC error over here. We'll put this under the bounding box and we'll type on the TKCon window DRCY. Okay, so it says that the metal 2 width is less than what is expected. So the best thing to do here is that we will extend this metal 2 area towards the other side. So we'll put some area under the bounding box and we'll press anywhere where there is metal 2 layer and press mouse middle button. So the DRC count has gone to 0 and we have manually edited and made the design DRC clean. Now we have to save this. We'll go to auto write and then we have to generate the GDS file. For that we'll go to file and we'll press write GDS and we'll overwrite this task2.gds file. Yes. And now after generating the GDS2 file, we'll go to file and we'll click on save all and quit. Now we'll go to the OpenLN folder again and the terminal which we were using, we'll type clear over here. We have made necessary changes to make our design DRC clean. Now we will cross check it again using the OpenLN flow to confirm it. We'll type ./flow.tcl. We'll use the interactive mode in this. Interactive. Now we have to type package require
My girlfriend.
I see.
OpenLN.
Oh my god.
Now we'll type prep dash design
Sorry, I didn't want to be loud. And
task
just
2
my roommates in the room.
and we'll give the tag as workshop because this was the tag that we used for our run.
Are you sure you're not confusing it for me?
Okay. Now
For each other.
we'll type the command run magic.
We're made for each other, baby. Okay, fine. I've taken a break to try and find the manga here.
Wait, I think I found it.
And for checking the
I
LVS,
found it.
we have to type the command run
It's called Living Will. I'll find the
magic
link. 'Cause I'm gonna go
underscore
to
spice
ads.
underscore export.
Manga Dex doesn't have them. You're right. they have it completed in English.
Now we will check for any
Wait,
LVS or
actually,
DRC
are they
errors present
live?
in our design. We'll type
Oh no, they're
run
not. They haven't.
underscore LVS.
Okay, I'm sending you the link.
Okay, the total
I
errors are
got
0.
you.
Now we
I'm
will
here to
type
support you.
run magic underscore DRC.
Fed me, and I'll feed you.
Okay, now finally we will generate the summary report by typing generate underscore final underscore
Yeah.
summary underscore report.
I'm sorry I couldn't feed you an 80 chapter manhwa. But the ones that are 80 chapters are
So we can
always
see that the
heterosexual
design is
ones.
DRC clean and LVS clean. We have done this by using the method of manually fixing the violations. I hope you learned something new today.
I'm being fed.
I wish you all the best and happy learning.
You're welcome.